See, this is a concern that most activists have, and that is one reason why they've never brought soil into the picture. I was talking to environment ministers who have attended the COP26 in Glasgow, and they said, Sadhguru, what is the matter? We were there for one whole week, we did not hear the word soil. I'm saying a war breaks out just after the pandemic, when nations are just beginning to recover, just beginning to have a reasonable normal life, a war breaks out. Well, if all the wise men who are ruling the world got together, we could avoid this, right? Very easily. We're talking about fossil fuels. What do you fight a war with? With air, is it? With sunlight, are we fighting a war with sunlight?
So, organic content, when you say that, what are some examples of just organic?
You can't get it from the moon or Mars. There is only two sources of organic content, either plant material or animal waste. These are the only two ways. You either need a lot of plant material that like cover crops and other things that you put back into the soil, or you need trees where you can use the leaves to fertilize the soil, or you need animal waste. There is simply no other way. Right now the problem is most farms don't have either trees or animals on them, agricultural farm. They have to bring their organic material, buy somewhere and bring it. It will not work. It will simply not work that way because the costs are too high. In the southern India, I've been running this campaign for over 24, 25 years now, that I went on campaigning for farmers to plant 10% of their land as trees. 10% of land produces enough organic material for the remaining 90%, and your yield on the 90% is better than what the 100% were doing before. And the organic content is high, water tables have come up, and the nutritional value has gone up significantly. This is another important part. Right now, see, most countries have put their COVID, deaths down. But in US still you're hitting about nearly 2,000 number per day, which is a disastrous number. Well, people can ascribe it to many things. One fundamental thing is, any rudimentary doctor, I'm not saying some virology expert or something, and a simple doctor, basic education doctor can clearly tell you, if you don't have enough vitamin A, vitamin B, B6, B12, C, E, and folate and iron and these things in your body, you become susceptible to respiratory infections. This is commonly known. Upper respiratory infections and lack of micronutrients are very directly connected. In United States in 1920, let's say a vegetable, for example, today everybody is going for salads believing they're eating something healthy, all right? At least in California and other places. I don't think these Atlanta people are still eating salads. I'm just joking, okay? So, for example, lettuce is one of the, important part of any salad anywhere these days, at least in the Western countries. What lettuce was offering you as nourishment in 1920, what it is offering to you now is only 10% of what it was in 1920, 10%. 90% nourishment is lost. If you ate one orange in 1920, in 2022 you have to eat 8 oranges to get the same stuff.
That's insane to me.
Yesterday I was at our school, all the little tiny tots were there, and I said, can you eat 8 oranges per day? They said, we can. I said, okay. They're not giving it to us, we can eat 8 oranges per day, they're saying.
That's wild. I've been reading a few books about the nutrition content in food nowadays compared to how it was, and it is just truly staggering. But Sadhguru, I know you are so busy, and I can't thank you enough for your time, and it's always such a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, and yourself and all the others of your tribe. I'm not talking about the Vikings, I'm talking about all the actors.
Humans.
People…
Well, the boss of my tribe, my wife, is in the room over, so she says hello as well.
So make sure from March 21st for 100 days, the whole world should talk about soil. This is what is important. It's not about supporting me, they don't have to support me. They must talk about soil. If they do this on the social media platforms, we'll aggregate these numbers. If we move 3.5 billion people, which amounts to 60% of the world's electorate on the planet, then we can move the governments, we can give confidence to the governments that they can invest in this direction. Right now the problem is people have not spoken. It's time the people speak.
March 21st.
Yes.
For that month.
For 100 days from there.
100 days from there, okay.
Yes.
For 100 days from there.
When I am on the road for 100 days, every day say something about soil.
Yes, sir.
Can I just raise one concern, if I may?
Yes.
Do you feel like there might be a risk that governments will see this as a potential cop-out to deal with the carbon emissions?
See, this is a concern that most activists have, and that is one reason why they have never brought soil into the picture. I was talking to environment ministers who have attended the COP26 in Glasgow, and they said, Sadhguru, what is the matter? We were there for one whole week, we did not hear the word soil. See, because you want to fix one industry, you leave a huge gap. In what way will enhancing the soil organic content will make oil companies, automobile companies escape that? Because that momentum has already happened. Most governments are committed, it's only a question of speed, all right? All governments in the world are already committed to changing or reducing their fossil fuel consumption in a big way. Everybody is committed to timelines. It is only a question of speed.
But they're not acting on those timelines, though.
No, that is…
During the pandemic, they gave $370 billion in economical support to the fossil fuel industry.
That is true, Gustav, that is true, but you need to understand the economic conditions of different nations. Because they can't just turn around like that, it's not possible for them to do it. So, there are many challenges, but everybody largely is committed to the direction of going free of fossil fuels in a certain amount of time. Speed is a question. What you're talking about is speed. So that speed, we must keep the pressure on them for speed. That we need not relax. Just because we enhance the organic content in the soil, we need not relax that. And the beautiful thing about soil is enhancing the carbon, organic carbon in the soil is, one thing is it's not against anybody, nobody will resist this. It's for everybody and its costs are very, very low. It is just a commitment that is needed. But shifting from fossil fuel to something else, one thing is it's a question of technology, people are not sharing technology, they're advising everybody but they're not sharing technology. They're advising everybody, they're not willing to compensate nations which are not able to do it in their period of time. They're not able to look at the per capita consumption of a given nation. we're talking standards which are not all right, okay? So naturally some nations will resist, but every nation right now is committed to move in the direction. We must continuously inspire them, encourage them, support them, buttress them to see that they're able to fulfill that in a reasonable amount of time, not stretching it endlessly. But see now, a war breaks out, all right? We could have easily avoided this, I don't want to get into the politics of it, but I'm saying a war breaks out just after the pandemic, when nations are just beginning to recover, just beginning to have a reasonable, normal life, a war breaks out. Well, if all the wise men who are ruling the world got together, we could avoid this, right? Very easily. We're talking about fossil fuels. What do you fight a war with? With air, is it? With sunlight, are we fighting a war with sunlight?
No, gas, oil,
No.
Yes.
fossil fuel.
Endless amount of that stuff, and worse kind of poisons we are throwing all over the place. So, I'm saying… I'm not saying that carbon fuels is not an issue, it's a serious issue. It's a significant issue. We should not let up on that, but that's not connected to this, because this doesn't cost money. This is not against any industry or any lobby, this is for everybody. This we must do because this is the easier piece to do, and it accounts to 36 to 40% of the problem.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
Sadhguru,
Thank you.
we are going to spread the word, and again, we're so grateful for you.
This is not my planet, this is our planet, let's make it happen, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. For
We got a
sure.
friend
I would
too.
definitely want to…
And get your Viking tribe going, huh? What other new work you're doing I have not seen, both of you.
You see Vikings?
I saw, because my daughter insisted that I must see.
That's amazing, amazing. I don't know if you
I've met Jon and Floki, I just have to meet Lothberg guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
Ragnar.
Ragnar.
Yeah, exactly. We'll bring them on next time.
Thank you very much.
So good to see
Yeah,
you.
hope to meet you again, Sadhguru.
Namaskaram.
Namaskar.
See you later. Be safe.